Hickok 45 with an old charcoal burner out here on the table. Hopefully you have seen it. I'll link to the first video with it, but it's time to shoot it some more in a chapter 2 video. I looked it up and I realized it's been, I think, almost a year since we showed you this and fired it for you. And I say for you, I get no enjoyment out of it whatsoever. It's for you all. I just make this sacrifice for you all. Do not enjoy shooting these things, not one bit. Believe that? I've got a bridge to sell you if you do. Yeah, it's the 1861 Springfield. Yeah, it says 1862 on it. And again, for newer shooters that ask that quite a bit about because so many firearms are, the name of it, kind of the official name is like the 1892 Winchester or whatever it is. Well, they've made them in years other than 1892. Okay, so this is 1861, but they made them for 3-4 years, 5 years. So this particular gun was made in 62, on the barrel and everything. So several of you mentioned that in the first video. And it's 58 caliber, and I'm not going to rehash everything. I'm going to make you watch the first video if you have not seen it. Okay, I have it loaded. Uh-oh, dangerous, dangerous. And I'm going to just put a cap on it here in a minute, and I'm going to shoot one of those chunks of lead. Got caps. Let me grab one. And what should we start on? Let's start on the gong. How's that? Just make sure the gong is awake. And especially since this barrel reaches about halfway to it, you know. So, so 80 yards, you know, really just becomes about 60 yards. All right, man. I must be in heaven, man. Yes. Real black powder smoke, real steel, real lead, real wood, and a real rifle from the Civil War. Again, you'll have to see the first video, but this is not a replica. This is an original. And it was carried. It was used. You can tell. Look at it. Look at all those character marks and everything. So, let's shoot it again. You want to? Do we have to reload it? I think we do. You know, one of the cool things about this, I was thinking before we did the video, that, you know, I'm in Tennessee here, Middle Tennessee, and right here on this ground, it's very likely, probable, that there were guys, let's say guys, yeah, in that case, carrying these 1861 Springfields right here, maybe across that hill. There were no turkeys or rams or buffalo in their way. Well, maybe a real buffalo, who knows, but maybe camped right here. For all we know, a small group. There was no major battle fought right here I'm aware of, but you know, it's Middle Tennessee, and Civil War battles all over Middle Tennessee and around southern Kentucky and everywhere. So you know, might have come through here with these rifles. In fact, maybe somebody was carrying this rifle across our compound before it was our compound. I mean, you know, just thinking about it, you know. That's what makes these so interesting. These firearms that were actually used, you know, in battle and are still around and still work. And I keep it in good shape and I shoot it. So I'm the curator. So let me load it again, okay? Because I had to do that before I can fire it. And you might have seen the video, how not to load a muzzleloader. And of course, the important thing was, if you haven't seen that, look it up, because it involves putting powder in first. You really need to get the powder in there. Putting about 60, maybe it's a tad over 60 grains in here. I'm using 2F. All right. And then I'm putting a mini ball in here. It's lead. Well, okay, let me get my ramrod. Now, you can use the ramrod off the gun, but it's a lot easier if you're not in battle to have your own longer ramrod like this one. And you get both hands on it and yeah, get good grip on it. All right. So, there we go. Black powder, I love it. All right, we need a cap and a target. So I got the gong. You know what I thought I might do? You know, so I don't have that many 2 liters, because we won't shoot it that many times. We'd be here, definitely here all night. Wouldn't just be joking about it. but I put a couple of blue ones up in honor of Kentucky. And I thought that would be appropriate because I don't know if you've been to Kentucky before. I'm from there, and really this is still pretty much the state of their technology in Kentucky. You know, this is it. Flintlock. Some people, the more progressive folks in Kentucky, have cap locks like this, and percussion pistols. That's pretty much what they carry. So let's, in honor of Kentucky, let's take one of those out. That did it, didn't it? Oh boy. Ah, sweet, sweet, sweet. And you've gotten a good look at it, good look at it in the first video, and I know you're seeing it today. It's just a beautiful example of an 1861, and that's what attracted me to it. I don't know, when did I trade into this? It's been about 1.5 years ago, I guess. Yeah, a little less, but I really like it. I had an 1863 and I sold it, traded it, and because this one's a little better shape and it's a 61 model. I like the barrel bands. I pointed that out, I think, before. They don't slip on you like the 1863 did for me some, and it's just it's in nice shape. It's not perfect, but it's in good shape. Let's run a patch down through here, and just to keep it relatively clean. The old black powder is dirty. John and I have been shooting it for, I don't know, off and on for a couple hours or more, and I washed my hand twice. Not that I worry about it, but if I'm gonna go away from it and eat a bite or whatever, I'll wash my hands. But as I've told you all before, what I like to do with one of these, get it out around noon, and then say we're going to do a video around 4:30. Just shoot the thing, enjoy it, because I advise that for anybody. If you're going to the range, whatever, and you're going to shoot one of these, try to plan plenty of time and thoroughly enjoy the firearm, because guess what? You know where I'm going. It's just as big a job to clean it after you fired it once or twice as it is if you fired it 100 times. You got, to get her clean and protected and all that. Okay, so and then plus, I don't know about you, but I love these things, but I don't get them out often enough, and so when I do, might as well just shoot the thing. So I wanted to shoot it some for you. We shot it for us this afternoon, had some fun, and I'm having fun right now, believe it or not. Yeah, boy, cool gun. I mean, it's kind of off the scale cool. I mean, I hope most of you can appreciate that. And if not now, when you're older, and when I say older, if you're 14 years old, maybe you don't get a big kick out of something like this, or 18 or 25 even, I don't know. But the more you understand and appreciate firearms, the history of firearms, you will appreciate this. I guarantee you. It's just a matter of time. So, did I do everything right? Did I load it correctly? You know what I could do? Let's try a buffalo. I mean, this thing is just made for hunting buffalo. I think I know where to hold. Oh boy, that's a great feeling. A great feeling. Yeah, if you don't appreciate something like this, I'm not sure you're a firearms enthusiast, okay? You might just be a muffler or anti-muffler enthusiast. These things are just wonderful, wonderful. A lot of people come to the firearms hobby because of just interesting firearms. The machinery of it, and just everything about it is just cool. The way they operate, whether it's an AK-47, which I think is a very interesting machine, or an AR, or just lots of firearms. The Krag we've had out recently, different firearms. They're just interesting pieces of machinery. And, I have firearms that I don't even care if I don't shoot them well. They're just so neat, and they have so much history. I think I told you. That's right. In the first video with this rifle, I had not fired it yet. I fired it in that video for the first time, and I liked it so much, I think I might have commented. Even if it shoots a foot high or a foot to the right, or not ideal, but the firearm is just so cool, and the history of it, and you never know with an older firearm. Sometimes you get an old Colt or something, they don't shoot to a point of aim as much as you'd like for it. But this thing does pretty well. I mean, somebody's had since 1862 to kind of figure out whether it shoots straight or not, shoots to point of aim. They've had time to adjust the sights, right? Now I figured if it was really far off, somebody would have put an EOTech on it or something, right? Make it more shootable. Let's put one on the paper before we get too carried away here. All right. I got to where I quit putting these things on eBay, but I saved them. And, you know, at a meet and greet, I'll have a bunch of them usually, and I just give them out. All right. I don't know, this is kind of a challenge here. It's this far away, as they're called sometimes. Smoke pole. So, great gun, great gun. And I think I've told you everything I know about it. You know, this was used primarily by the North, but not exclusively. Kind of thought it was a Yankee rifle. And the Enfield was more of a Southern rifle, Confederate rifle, but they carried a lot of things on both sides. And I think it wasn't until a couple of years into the war, that would be the Civil War, for those who don't know, before, you know, the 58 was pretty well standard, and enough rifles were made or bought on both sides that a lot of soldiers in the North were carrying, you know, the 1861 Springfield, and a lot of soldiers in the South were carrying the Enfield. And but there were others. There were others. All right, put a round in there. Got to be careful when you're talking and loading a muzzle loader. I mean, oh, it's a recipe for not necessarily disaster, but it's a recipe for dry balling and oops, I'm forgetting to put powder in. Or I don't know if you call it forgetting. You just you just skip that step. Yeah. All right. How many more shots y'all want me to take? I could get frisky and try a turkey or a pig. Let's see if I can hit a pig. See if I know where to hold. I'll try that pig over there on the left. I'm pretty sure I'll come really close. And if I miss it, it'll be an elevation issue. Either that or I'll be too high or too low. So there you go, Texans, a pig rifle. A pig rifle. Look at that smoke. Don't you love it? It's kind of later in the evening and no wind, and the smoke just hovers in the air. Now, let me see here. Let me grab this juice over here. When it gets kind of dirty, what I'll do sometimes is very carefully, I noticed it's getting a little stiff in there. I'll put just a little bit of that Ballistol. There's other things you could use, water, spit, whatever. And I'll run a damp patch down there, just barely damp. And we'll get the patch stuck in the rod. Here we go. That's better. That'll really kind of clean it out a little bit there. Sometimes a dry patch, as I have pointed out before, boy, you can, when it's dirty and you stick a dry patch down there, it just hangs up on you and you can't even get the ramrod out, and you are really in a world of hurt. I have had that happen in a severe way, believe it or not. Now, just a patch is not a problem. I got that little curly Q corkscrew. You can get those out pretty easily. But boy, you don't want to get the rod stuck in there. Okay. So I'm using GoX. And I've just been shooting today the 575 thousandths balls. They do just fine. After it gets dirty, they load easily. They seem plenty accurate for what I'm shooting at. Okay. And we need a ball now, don't we? Let's get one of these babies. They've been lubed for a while. The lube's kind of dried up there. That may be why I'm getting a little dirty. Okay. Again, one reason I like these Civil War rifles. They're easier to load, believe it or not. Generally, a little faster with a mini ball. Okay, and if you haven't seen the mini ball, here's some without the lube or anything on them. You know, that's, you got the hollow base, and that's what they kind of start out as, and I smear lube on them. I usually use Wonder Lube. Get a little jar of that. All right. We've done the gong and a couple animals. You know, well, I know what I'll do. Let's, that buffalo on the right, it probably won't fall, but I want to put one on him if I can. Yeah, especially if you miss him. I think I was holding low. And it hits right, pretty much right on. Right on. Yeah, man. So, what? By the way, I didn't mention, did I? The 1860 Army percussion revolver. That's what a lot of people would have been carrying on the northern side if they were carrying this rifle. Not everybody, mainly I think officers and then whoever could get one. But the 1860 Army, so I have it out there, was a common, you know, a lot of those made for the north. Okay, let me put this guy here. I think what I'm going to do, John and I were messing with this before the video. Don't let me forget to shoot the cinder block, but oh good, I get to demonstrate that. You see what just happened? The patch stayed down in there. I hate that, but that's usually not too hard to get out. Here's my rod. See, I've got the corkscrew on it, so that's not as bad as dry balling and trying to get a ball out of there. Let's go down there and turn it, twist it, and hopefully it'll pick up that patch. Although this afternoon that happened a time or two, and I had to play with it. There we go. Had to play with it a little bit to get it out. All right. Part of it is I'm using smaller patches, and they do just fine. But I'll tell you, let's take the block out first, in case it were to rain on us. I'm going to go ahead and load a regular load and address that cinder block. And then we'll do at least one other thing before I let you go. How'd my hands get dirty? Look at that. Wow. I'll put this thing away and go get an AR-15, because I don't notice that when I'm shooting my AR-15s. Oh boy. Gotta love it. All right. Okay, we got a full load. And now these were not like magnums or anything. You're shooting a heavy ball, and that's what did all the damage in the Civil War you've read about. It's a heavy chunk of lead, but it wasn't traveling all that fast, and it's not going to just blow up that cinder block. That's a new cinder block, I think a corner block. But the block will know it's been hit, unless I don't hit it. Okay, all right, it knows it was hit. Now, I don't know if we've done this with a Civil War rifle. I thought we might just load up a special charge here for that 2-liter, that last tribute to Kentucky. Now, I'm not telling people in Kentucky anything new. They've been doing this for years, because they, like I say, this is what they carry. Let's put about 15 grains in here, just enough to set it off. It's a little bitty amount of powder. Look at that powder measure. There's just not much room there for powder. So we got it cranked up. 15 grains. Now when you do this, you got to make sure you get it all in there. End up with not enough powder to get the ball out or something. So if you are willing to get into this kind of shooting and your hands being black don't bother you, you can be your own hand loader. You can load light loads, hot loads, whatever you want. As I've pointed out many times, with black powder, the main thing is you have the ball, the round ball, the mini ball, whatever you're shooting, all the way down against your powder. And the amount is not that, well, it's important for accuracy and consistency, but you're good as long as your ball is down against the powder, or else you are creating a pipe bomb. Think about it. If I had this ball right here and I just forgot about it and I put it down the barrel to right there, I got powder in there. I've got a pipe bomb. So that's the important part. Now I'd have kind of a low power pipe bomb because I just have less than 15 grains in this one, don't I? But I think it's enough to take out that Kentucky 2-liter. All right. All right, John, be careful. It could bounce off and come back at us. I don't want to put my ears on. Sounded like a cap gun, didn't it? Tell you the truth, to me it sounded like that. If I just shoot a cap, like I do when I first come out every time, and I've gone over that in the last video, if you just shoot a cap, in fact, I think it's louder than that. That's about what that sounded like to me. You know, through the camera it might have sounded differently. Most of you are on the other side of the camera, the other side of the computer screen, right? TV. So, yeah, it took him out. So anyway, I'm just proud to be shooting a kind of a Kentucky state-of-the-art rifle. Let's load it one more time, okay? I always talk about not wanting you to be late for dinner. Tell you the truth, I really don't care because I'm not hungry. Hey, if you're late for dinner, so be it. Hit the pause button. It's not a big deal, right? You can come back and finish it later if you have to. Okay, so powder, measure. Again, this is just a handy little measure, and you know, it's all the way down. It's about 60 grains, 65, and so I use that lots of times. Put that in here. Now, whoops, I spilled some. Now, if I was mentioning that how not to video involving dry balling, if you haven't seen that, maybe I'll link to that too. Go check that out if you're thinking about ever getting into this. I talk about that a lot in videos about how you got to make sure you get that powder in there. You skip that step, you got some problems. You know, you need that powder down there behind the ball, and in order to get it out. But there's ways to get it out. I have my way, and I demonstrate that in that video, because it can happen to anybody. We've got one more shot, and I think that Cowboy Desperado needs it, don't you? In fact, I might walk right up on him and shoot point blank. Want me to? I don't think I'll do that. It's too big a chunk of lead. Too big a chunk of lead. All right, I'm gonna put my ears on. We're not at 15 grains now. All right. Woo! Popped him. I got a bug on my glasses. Look at that. Warms up, the bugs come back out. Yeah, man. Cowboy knows he's been hit with a mini ball. He may not know it was a Civil War mini ball, but get away. We let him know. So you see how dirty they get, but we've had it that dirty or dirtier today a couple of times. And I just sprayed it down and wiped it and cleaned it, and as you saw, I think at the beginning of the video, it looked pretty good. So as messy as this stuff is, I think I should smear it on my face. As messy as it is, it's all good. It's just a labor of love, and you know, it's just doesn't bother me a bit. But it is the reason, as I pointed out, this is all I've shot today. Okay, it's kind of the way I arrange my shooting life. If I'm going to shoot black powder, this is what we're going to do. It's what I'm going to do that day or that afternoon. I'm not going to have some other go, oh yeah, let's do this video and then do a Glock 19 video or something like that, or I want to shoot my P365 today. No, just black powder, and cleanup and preparation and the stuff you need to have out for it. And to me, it's more enjoyable that way. You can do what you want. You could, you know, shoot your AK, your AR, and then this, but it's just more fun to make it a travel back into history sort of afternoon, kind of the way I look at it. So again, check out the first video. I mean, if I do say so myself, I didn't make it, so I'm not bragging. I just ran across it at a Civil War show. But this is a really pretty nice example of an 1861, you know, an original 1861 Springfield rifle. And these are some of the videos, again, I will brag, I guess. I can sit and watch. In fact, I watched the other day, I knew we were going to do this, and I watched part of that first video. And there are guns I like so much firearms I enjoy so much, and I just like to look at them so much, fondle them or whatever, that I actually enjoy watching our own video with that firearm, because John gives you lots of good close-ups and everything. So I mean, I am willing to withstand the idiot talking so much that looks a lot like me in order to see this firearm. They're just so neat. Really like them. Can you tell? So anyway, the 1861 again, chapter 2, and we'll look for another excuse to shoot it another day. Okay. So any other lies I need to tell you about anything? Guess not. We shot enough, and again, we appreciate your support more than you know. We enjoy doing this, and we're glad that most of you keep coming back, asking for more, and you know, we don't have to refund most of your money or anything. You just come back and watch us shoot, and hopefully you learn a little bit. Life is very good.
That's not bad. Oh, hey, just measuring this 15-shot group. Since I've got you here, I want to remind you to check out our friends over at SDI and Talon Grips. SDI is a fully accredited online distance learning program where you can get an associate's degree in firearms technology or become certified in gunsmithing. So check them out at sdi.edu. They also accept GI Bill, so be aware of that. Talon gun grips, you may be aware of those. Dad's been using them for a long time. Essentially a grip tape that goes around the grip of your handgun, just like this, around the grip, and gives you a much better grip, and you're not stuck with basically the grip that comes from the factory on the pistol, because it's not like the old days with 1911s where you just change out the grips. A lot of these more modern handguns don't give you that option, so you have to either just stick with what you got or wrap something around the outside. So check them out if it makes sense for you. And also, don't forget to go to our website, hickok45.com. We have a bunch of stuff over there for you guys to check out. We actually have our videos now on gunstreamer.com, so please check that out. Don't forget about our social media. Don't forget to look in the description also. There's a lot of information there. The description of the video and the website, hickok45.com. But our social media at The Real Hickok45 on Instagram, Hickok45 on Facebook and Twitter. There's John _Hickok45 on Instagram, but you can't guess who that is. What else? I think that's all I was going to tell you guys. Oh yeah, our merchandise. You can find our merchandise at bunkerbranding.com. We have this shirt, at least as I'm making this video, available. And we've got some hats. Just go check it out. It's going to change what we have available at different times. So if you like something, maybe go ahead and jump on it. But the main thing is hickok45.com, and support the people who support us whenever it makes sense for you. As always, I really appreciate you guys still watching these videos after so long and so many years. It means so much to us, and it's been such a fun experience, and we appreciate you guys, and see you later.